One of my favorite things to make is soap. It's so fun and it's so easy. What you're looking at here is 3-day-old lavender soap that I made with 3 ingredients, 4 counting the lavender. But you can make a basic olive oil Castile soap with 3 ingredients. So I'm going to cut this up and let it cure more in this box, and then I will show you how to make your own soap. Soap can take up to about a month to cure, and I am planning on giving these away for Christmas presents, so I'm not too concerned about just letting them sit and taking as much time as they want. This is a nice, cool area in my bedroom that these can just sit and cure. So what I did with these was that I poured the bottom layer and then I let it sit, and then I put lavender and then poured a second layer. And I believe that I messed up by letting this first layer cool and then adding this top to it, because as you can see, some of them have split. Now, I don't personally care that they've done this because I love how unique everything is that you make by hand. However, I think today with the coffee soap that I'm going to make per request to my husband, because he loves the grit in the soap and it just smells awesome. But I prefer lavender in my showers, but it's an incredible smell, but you can definitely tell also that the lye has not settled as much as it should. So soap can take up to a month to cure. I probably shouldn't be handling these with my hands, but so anyway, so I want to point out in this next batch where I think I went wrong with this first batch, but I think it's beautiful. They're totally chilling, and I know that my people will be very excited to get them for Christmas. So these are sitting. Let's go work on that other soap. Okay, let's make soap with 3 simple household ingredients. This is the coolest thing about soap. It's super easy, and a lot of the stuff you probably just have in your house. This is lye. I bought it at a hardware store here in town. It's around $5 or $6. This is the most dangerous part of doing this whole thing. So we will talk about safety precautions in a second here. But you use so little that I could probably make 5 or 6 batches that we're gonna make today from this alone. So the second thing is water, and that's awesome because obviously, fortunately, that's really easy to come across at this time. And then there's oil. So you can use any type of oil. You can use lard, you can use coconut, you can use palm oil, don't even get me started. There's a tons of different oils that you can use. However, this one is the most basic and it's what I like using. So those are your 3 main ingredients. If you want to add anything else, like I added in the lavender soap for the, added the lavender in the other soap, you can. I will be adding coffee grinds to this soap. So a couple of things you're gonna need. You're going to need a pot to warm up your oil. You're going to need a hand blender. I love this thing. I use it for all sorts of things. It's like 6 years old. It cost me $30. You will need a mold. I am going to be filling this really cute redwood mold that my husband made me with a liner of wax, and we will be pouring it into there. So I will be using gloves to be mixing the lye, and then obviously you have your things. This is a very, very, very important part. You are going to want one of these. If you don't have one of these in your kitchen, if you don't have a thermometer in your kitchen, I don't know how you're doing anything. And then you're going to want a water receptacle. I suggest that you use a glass one, and then this. Now this is where My soap making is going to differentiate from a lot of other people's. When you add the lye to the water, never water to lye, always lye to water. It is very hot and it stays hot for a very, very long time. And so our goal is to get this cooled down once it starts, the chemical reaction starts, get this cooled down from like 250 degrees. Side note, very dangerous. Don't stick your hands in it. Don't have animals or kids running around that are going to cause problems or have some sort of burn with this, because we've all seen Fight Club. Okay, so I add ice and cold water, and it brings that temperature down much quicker because we're going to be heating up our oil in here, which has the ability to heat up really, really quickly. So I'll show you what's up. But first, let's get that mold started. Now that we have our mold with our wax paper totally molding, we're gonna do 9 ounces of water. And I am using my tap water. Some people want to say that you need to use distilled water. I have well water. I don't really find a problem using it. So 9 ounces, and then I'm going to glove up and weigh in the lye. So be very careful with the lye, obviously. Now this is also recommended that you do this outside. I have a window right here and I'm not going to be like messing around with it. So I feel fine, comfortable doing it right here. However, if you are working in a small environment or if you just want to do it outside because you're nervous about it, it's not a bad idea. So we're gonna go ahead and do 4.5 ounces of the lye. And I like to kind of give it one of those, make sure there's none on there. It does clump up, and so be really careful. Okay, and so now we're just playing a waiting game. And like I said, here we have our water and lye chemical reaction happening. It's still very hot. We've got our coolant around it. I really have never had any issues with using the ice. I know that it's not something that's common or people do, but I watched a lot of other videos and they're just not even commenting on how long this takes, but it takes a minute. And it's almost getting to sunset and I gotta go put the chickens away, feed the horse, water the garden, you know, do all these things. And so I would like to move along with my day. And so I have got, you know, I always do things a little bit differently, so thanks for following. But here is ice and it's cooling that down, and we can check and see what we've gotten from. It was at 180 just about 20 minutes ago, and it's getting up to about 140, which is super awesome. So what we're hoping for is to have both the oil and the water at 130, or at least within about 5 degrees of one another. So now that that is starting to get around that temperature, I'm going to go ahead and get this started, because like I said, the oil is going to get hotter a lot faster, and then we will combine them, mix it, and pour it. That is how simple this all is. And don't forget the coffee. It's happening. Okay, so it looks as though our oil is heating up. Let's check on it. I can hear it kind of crackling. Of course, as I'm taking temperature, I'm not touching the thermometer to the bottom because that would be reading the metal, but so it's gotten really hot. It's actually jumped up to 145, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off and let it chill for a second till it dips back down to 130, and then I will go ahead. See how quick that happened? That happened so quick. Let's take it off of the heat. Oh, shit. Go ahead and put it on the not hot area and see how long it'll take to just drop that down. But what we're going for here is both of the ingredients to be combined at 130 or within 130, and then we will use the blender. So okay, we are ready to combine the oil with the water. We have our hand blender ready for action. And so I am obviously not going to just like throw this in there. One of the tricks that I saw was pretty cool is you can put your blender in there and then pour it down the stick of your blender so that it doesn't go kerplunk. Okay, so I've been mixing for a minute here, and what I'm really looking for is for the tracing, and what that means is that you will see the drips stay on the soap, across the soap. I don't see any yet, so I'm gonna keep mixing, and I'm also going to add in my coffee. Okay, so I've been mixing for about 5 minutes now, and I was talking about tracing earlier. I want to show you what that means. See how you can kind of see it sitting up there, like when you leave a mark, or when you pull it out, it kind of like sits on top. It'll almost like, yeah. So this is looking very beautiful, and it's smelling even better. Let's go ahead and get it into its mold.